afternoon. I'm Moria, your BEYA Stars and Stripes STEM Career Day Student Ambassador. Today's Career Day is sponsored by Lockheed Martin, the leading aerospace and defense company. We would like to thank Lockheed Martin for continuing to support our program. This month, before school begins, we are looking back over the last year of speakers and Career Day shows to highlight the best from last year. But before we learn about her fascinating journey, wait, before we learn about our fascinating journey, let me bring up my fellow student ambassadors, Savannah, Hope, and Joy, to share their thoughts on today's opening topic, Reflections in the Mirror.
Hello, I'm Veteran Ambassador Joy Pagan, originator and host of Constructive Conversations. And today we're discussing self reflection. We'd like to invite our viewers to participate. How do you see yourself? The good, the bad, the ugly. How about Maria? How about you go first?
Well, I feel like I've learned a lot from last year. I feel like last year I was like a whole different other person, and now I'm just different. Like I've grown a lot.
I think it's really important how we see ourselves because how you see yourself is what you end up attracting into your life. And that's why um, having a sense of confidence and a sense of identity in yourself is so important and will lead you to go far. But I think now with social media and just in general, like, being teenagers, it's kind of hard to keep that confidence high because, you're seeing these perfect people on social media and you start comparing yourself. Savannah, how do you think someone should reflect on themselves when they're comparing themselves to people they see online?
Right.
I feel like when comparing yourself to others, I feel as though it can sometimes be good, but most of the time think it's in a bad light because someone, like, let's say someone's lazy, right? And you see someone going to the gym and drinking protein powder and making cucumber salads, right? And you're like, oh, I want to be like that. Then that's good. That's you wanting to improve your lifestyle. That's you wanting to improve your way of life. So in ways it can be helpful, but it's when it gets to like dissing your appearance or like just not appreciating what you have like organically, then I feel like that's when it gets an issue because those are things that are important and are unique on certain people. So I feel like that's something that you should be most appreciative for. Yeah, pretty much.
I
I
love
agree.
that answer. That answer is so good. Hope, what are the dangers of not reflecting in yourself?
I feel some dangers might just be losing yourself, losing your identity. Sometimes you have to do a little update with yourself. Sometimes you have to say, hey, where are we at? One thing I like to do is make sure when I'm thinking about myself and reflecting on myself, one thing I like to do is like kind of speak to little Hope. So I want to make sure she's okay because sometimes as we grow up, we kind of lose our inner child. But I think our inner child is so important. It's what helps give us a passion, the excitement for life. We love as a kid, we just love endlessly. We love with no boundaries, and then we start to put those walls up. So it's just me saying to myself, make sure little Hope is being taken care of. And when I'm thinking about taking care of my little version of myself, it makes me take care better of this version of myself because it's up to me to do that. So
100%. Like,
Yes.
I think doing childlike things like arts and crafts, stuff to just keep you in touch with the way of life. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Keeping up
Like,
with your inner child.
go
yeah.
outside, go for a run, all of that stuff. It's so important. That's really what wellness is, and it's all intertwined. Intertwined wellness, self reflection. It one affects the other. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
think the best thing I can say, as in regards to my opinion of self reflection, is whenever I'm feeling insecure and not self confident, I always ask myself, how does God view me? And then I'll realize like God views me as more than enough. And my favorite verse in the Bible was you're altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you. And I just repeat that verse in my head and I realize like if I'm more than enough in God's eyes, then why would I even feel insecure, you know?
I also
Matters, you know?
I
So,
also think the key note with that is also look at who's around you. If people are uplifting you, then you'll feel better about yourself. If people around your friends or people around you are always like speaking down to you or not seeing your worth, then chances are you're gonna forget your own worth. So I think it's about protecting your circle, protecting people around you, the energy that they're giving to you, and making sure that that's energy that is worth your time and what you deserve.
110%, because like, believe it or not, especially when you go to college, you know, and you talk to more people, there are some people who will see you that like at leveled up, and they'll try to tear you down and try to tear at your insecurities, because to them they're like, I want to bring them down to my level. So be having a
I
clear
feel
head of,
you.
you know, what to look for when even being around friends, you know, the same qualities, the same personality traits, but also the same morals and values is so important, because um I have experienced friends that want to tear you down, and that's just not the way to go. It can really damage your self identity if you don't separate yourself and heal from it. Have you ever experienced that, Moria, before? Friends try to
Um,
like tear you down? In
not
Savannah, you
re
too.
not really, thank goodness. Um, I want to say also I love the verse you gave, Joy,
Oh,
and
thank you.
also to add my own thing to it. Um, personally, if you don't self-reflect, you won't grow. Like if
Right,
and people won't like you. Like
right.
nobody likes an ignorant person. So yeah, so if you don't self-reflect, you're gonna be that ignorant person. You're gonna be that person that people are like, ugh, they never learn anything. Like,
Right.
and that's not a good look.
You
So
can tell when a person looks at other people but not at themselves. Like, you'll find that they're hypocrites because they're so worried about judging others but not holding themselves accountable. Okay, guys, this was such a great conversation, one of my favorites. Thank you guys so much for your inputs. Moria, I'm going to pass the conversation over to you, so thank you guys.
okay, so thank you, ambassadors, for building a platform to have these kinds of important discussions. Viewers, I hope we've given you something to think about, and we thank you for your participation. Now, let's look at one of our first memorable moments from last year's programming, an interview with Jesse King.
I want to take 20 minutes to introduce myself and talk about some interesting things I've had the opportunity to do during my career. As I do this, I want to send one central message. Science, technology, engineering, and math, what we call STEM, opens up a world of opportunity for those of us who are fortunate enough to join what I'll call the STEM Club. Now, how do you join the STEM Club? All you got to do is take an interest and participate in math and science, and that's it. So I hope most of us on this call are already members of the STEM Club.
How do you guys feel about that clip we just watched?
Oh no, you can go. Sorry. No,
I remember this conversation, and I remember like when he was emphasizing the importance of STEM. And I just want to ask you guys, are you interested in taking any STEM classes right now?
mm,
Well, that's interesting that you say that. If I'm being so honest with everybody and just being my vulnerable self, I've always kind of been intimidated by STEM. He mentioned science and math, and those are, and I have math. Actually, I have math anxiety. Actually, like I have a this disorder in math. I got diagnosed with it or something like that. It's something with my brain does not kind of like sometimes process math the right way. Science, I'm kind of good, kind of. If I study, I'm okay, but sometimes I become intimidated by science and STEM. So I want to ask you guys, because maybe you guys can help me. If you're intimidated by any STEM courses, how would you guys go about that? What would be your mindset?
Go to
actually,
tutoring.
oh, you see that? Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's helpful too. I feel like for me, like I have been intimidated by STEM. Um, Well, I also like, I don't know, it maybe, I don't think like it's something to be diagnosed with, but like I also have trouble like when it comes to math and stuff. Like it's just my attention span just it doesn't work well. But
I
when
feel
it came
you.
to chemistry, oh chemistry. Oh Lord, that class.
Chemistry, we have no chemistry.
No, none. That class completely took me out. However, I did stay in it because it was an important foundation. And I think that's what um Mr. King was talking about in his video, what he's trying to get at with the, being having a foundation, at least in like in the studies, so that even if you wanted to like do something else, because if I'm being my honest true self, I'm not a STEM major. At least that's not what I'm focusing on. I'm more of
And
an
that's
English
okay.
person, right? But I do still take interest in STEM, and I have that foundation. As I said, I've taken chemistry, I've taken algebra. I have that foundation that if I wanted to branch off in something else or try something, then I have that will and the ability to do so. So I feel like that's also what he was getting at as well.
I love that
I
answer.
love
I love that you spread your wings and still, even though you weren't passionate about it, you're like, let me just learn this so I can, in case I want to branch out, I had the opportunity to branch out. That's motivation right there.
I love this. I
Right.
love what you said. And I had a conversation with my aunt one time because we were at Women of Color and seeing all these women talk about STEM. I want to be CEO of a tech company one day. And I
Mm-hmm.
said to my aunt, and I had talked to the technologist of the year actually, and I said to her as well. I said, I want to be a CEO, but sometimes I feel kind of ashamed because I don't like math and I don't know how to code, but I have great ideas. I have great leadership skills. I have great communication skills. And they said to me, they were like, where there's one thing to be good at STEM, right? But especially the technologist of the year, she said it's a group effort. So you can be the visionary, and the STEM people can bring it to life. You know,
Right.
but
Right.
it's intertwined. You have to have a visionary in order to the STEM, and then to order to come to life, you have to have a STEM where that works with the visionary. You know what I'm saying? So it's a group
Yeah.
effort, and then the person that knows people to like make the product come to life, to inspire people. So I think that when it comes to STEM, with me personally, no, I won't be coding or doing math, but I will be working with people in STEM and inspiring them and formulating teams to make this the best product that I can have that will inspire people and make their lives easier. So I'm very excited for that. Moria, are you interested in STEM?
Yes. I for the past 2 weeks, I have been studying for my Alex test, which will get me placed into college algebra. So
Oh.
yeah. So I'm planning to take my STEM courses this year so I can transfer to my dream school, FAMU.
Oh.
And I know that I'm gonna add on to what Savannah said. She doesn't necessarily like STEM, but she pushes through. And I think that's the main fundamental aspect of STEM is just can you push through? Can you get through? Do you have grit? And yeah, you definitely need that to become a professional, a STEM professional.
And I think this is going to be my first year taking an accounting class for business because I'm a business major. And I think the mindset I go in, because I'm not intimidated, I said to myself, go by this line your whole life. Know nothing, learn everything. And so when I go in with that mental aspect, I'm not intimidated because I'm like, I don't know this, but I can learn it. When you take the ego out the way of being like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail, or oh my gosh, this is so hard, and you're going with like, oh, when you embrace the fact that you know nothing, it all kind of it formulates with the acceptance of, okay, I don't know this, but I can learn everything. you know we kind of
Definitely.
sometimes we can kind of get in our own way. um I know for certain me and Hope had this really good science class yet last year, but we weren't science was not our strong suit. But I went in with the mindset of, I'm gonna know nothing, learn everything, and I feel like me and my sister thrived in science class last year. And it even took me, because did I understand everything at first? No. So what I did was I met with my science teacher like 2 times a week, and being able to work with her one-on-one really taught me how to do the work, but also really to advocate for yourself and not to give up when you don't know it, because there are steps you can take to understand more. So yeah, for sure. Okay, back to you, Moria.
All right. Now we will have a commercial break from Lockheed Martin.
I work at Lockheed Martin as a cybersecurity systems engineer, and I've been at Lockheed for 19 years. The role of cybersecurity engineering has a tremendous impact on the mission to deliver secure systems to our customers. I have 3 children. My kids are the center of my universe. I would not be able to continue working effectively as a working parent if it had not been for the flexibility in our work schedule and the flexibility of our leaders to help me exercise a flexible work schedule. One of the reasons why I've been at Lockheed Martin for 19 years is because I think the culture and the values that we demonstrate really reflect my own personal values. Performing with excellence, acting with integrity, those are steadfast values that we talk about day to day. I have seen great changes in the diversity within our company. 19 years ago, there weren't a whole lot of women in leadership, so the few that we had were highly coveted. Today, I'm proud to say that we see quite a few women in leadership roles. The advice that I would provide to young women and girls who are interested in STEM is go for it. You can do it. Don't let anyone stop you.
That commercial is always so inspirational. I've been loving this flashback episode, and now for my favorite flashback episode, Ready, Set, Action.
So I know as a college student, it's hard to juggle mental health and your school activities. How did you guys, and you guys have both and like very high standards for yourself. How did you guys juggle with mental health, but also getting your grades to be good and to be where you want to be?
Absolutely. So kind of piggybacking off what Dr. Sheg shared, time management. It's funny because in undergraduate, my undergraduate studies, like my time management was much different. Like say, for example, there was a deadline that was like a month from now, like I would be working on that like today. But when I got into graduate school, I figured like, that's just not going to work the same way. I have to kind of like, split my time up like, okay, what do I have to do today? What do I have to do within the next week? And then kind of go from there, because thinking a month from now can get really stressful, especially when you have, courses. Like for me personally, I have courses. I also teach at Howard, and then also I have to balance research. So it is a lot of responsibilities to balance. But I like how you also added in the mental health aspect. One thing that has been amazing for me outside of time management is self-care.
I love that flashback episode because that was one of my favorite interviews, and it gave me this amazing idea that I want to share with you guys. She was talking about timing and deadlines, and so the idea that I got from her was reward time. And basically that means like, okay, so I need to make this. Sometimes deadlines become so intimidating where we focus on the deadline instead of the actual work that needs to be involved. And so sometimes, like say, I like to make mini deadlines before my actual big deadline. Just make maybe 2 paragraphs for like a 5-page essay. Like, you know what I mean? Like just make mini kind of deadlines. And if I make those mini deadlines, I feel more like I can reward myself, and I feel more in control of the assignment in comparison to the assignment being in control of me.
Dopamine.
I love that. So what I do, because last year my main goal was to beat procrastination. I do think procrastination can affect mental health, which is why it's so important to beat procrastination. And so I kind of took on what Hope said, but a little bit I condensed it a little bit, being like, okay, let me do my work during the day and I get to relax at night. The computer's off, the phone's off. I can just watch a good TV show. And what that does, it gives me motivation to stay focused during the day, get what I have to do done right away. Also, I tell myself, if I get this done now, I get more free time later. So science, for example, when you take a science class with a lab, it takes forever. You have to take like 4 days to complete it. So I start at the very beginning. on literal Sunday. And then I wanted to be done by like Wednesday at the latest. And because I did that, I was able to have the weekends free. So that's the reward system that I go on. What about you guys?
So for me, I struggle with a similar problem sometimes. Like, especially, okay, so last week was finals week for summer semester, and I was having trouble like getting through some of the things because I was like, I can't wait for this to be over. I can't wait for the semester to finally be over. It's like end of semester itis. And so that's when procrastination hits the hardest for me because I'm like, I just want to be done. But I remind myself, you just gotta push through like this one big push. You just gotta push through. And then that got me through.
I love that. And congrats to you for taking summer classes. I wanted to, but that break was needed.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Those
Savannah,
things are necessary.
Savannah, what about you?
About what I think about the procrastination and the timing.
And deadlines and everything.
Yeah,
of
time
those
management.
sorts.
I agree. Unfortunately, I also fall victim to the procrastination, especially in like AP classes and harder classes, because I actually I'm going to college this year early. So I think I've mentioned it before, but yeah, and so especially with that, because I know that they don't play over there. So, and as I said, I fall victim to procrastination. So I really have to manage that and be better this year. That's one of my goals as well, is to just beat it. Because as Joy said, like when you have like a lab, it takes hours. Thankfully, I have no math or science classes this year. But I mean, even so, like with other classes, you still have to keep up with them, especially with the 2-hour lectures. It's going to be a lot. So I feel like that's also something I would work on as well.
Well, congrats to you for taking on college during your last year of high school. And we're all college girls at this point. So this is so fun to talk about with you guys and stuff like that. This was a really good discussion about college and deadlines. And personally, I plan on being the best time management in era being in the best time management era this upcoming college season. So I'm not gonna let time control me. I'm gonna control time. Sounds like some type of Avenger saying, but but thank you guys for this amazing discussion. And I want to throw it to commercial break real quick, if that's okay with you.
Calling all future STEM pioneers, leaders, and career champions. Join us on every second Saturday of the month for the BEYA Career Day. BEYA STEM Career Day is all about creating opportunities for students to venture into the world of STEM through the eyes of professionals. You'll meet mentors and presenters that will give you a sneak peek into the many options available to you in the field of STEM. Hosted by teen ambassadors, you'll find yourself among inspiring peers just like yourself that are aiming high for their future. To take part in the BEYA STEM Career Day on Zoom, visit fullstemahead.us and register for the next session. Again, that's fullstemahead.us. BEYA, becoming everything you are.
A world of careers unleashed. You can get it at BEYA. Become everything you are.
You can definitely become everything you are at BEYA, and I will be attending next year. This next segment coming up is very interesting, and I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say about this. So let's bring it up.
So we wake up as a CEO, right? And you have a lot of to do on your calendar. How do you manage your time enough to make sure you check off all those to-dos on your calendar?
So the first thing I do is make sure that I set time on my calendar that's just mine. So there's twice a week where there's blocks of time where I decide if that gets used or not. But my mornings are pretty structured. Between 7:30 and about 9:30. And there's certain things that just I have to be able to get done so I don't have to think about them anymore. So part of it's building a good team as well.
So what he said really interested me because recently I was reading about Steve Jobs, and someone that researched him said one of his best qualities was not his high IQ, but his ability to formulate and lead a thorough team. So pretend you guys are a CEO. What key qualities would you look for when assembling your team?
I feel like if I was a CEO,
And you're formulating a team.
and I'm formulating a team. I feel like my team would have to consist of people who are honest, people who are like good communicators, because I feel like when you don't have communication in a workplace, it can really get annoying or like
Communication is definitely.
confusing, because one person might be in one project and the other person might want to go do something else, and it's like, so what are we doing? So I feel like to lead a good team, there has to be communication, there has to be honesty, because things happen, but it's as long as you can communicate those things, then I feel like everything will be fine. Because if we're being so for real, I feel like in the workplace, like people can learn anything. Like just because you have qualifications for something doesn't mean that you're the best person for the job. I feel like that just means that like you have a paper saying that you're qualified, but are you really qualified deep down? Because there could be someone else that's better than you.
Right.
You may not have those qualifications, but will learn faster than you ever did. So I feel like it's really those people that we should focus on, like in the workplace and stuff, because although you may not have qualifications for it, are you willing to learn is the really like the big question.
Well, one of the career day guys who did have a presentation one time, he owned his own business.
Mhm.
He said that when he's hiring, he doesn't look for if they're qualified. He
Right.
looks for if they're ambitious and willing to learn, because he said an open mind can kind of take you even more than a mind that's very strategic, knows everything, you know. And in the video that we just saw, he said when Nick asked him time management, he was like, you know, as a CEO, I had to trust my employees to, you know, get the job done in the aspects where I can't do. So time management is super important, and trusting the people you work with is super important too.
I
I
want to.
think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hope.
Sorry, I didn't mean to break, but I want to add real quick before we run out of time. When I was at a seminar with this lady who came for my job, we all have to do like a seminar on how to work together and stuff like that. So we were talking about working together as a group, and honest to God, if to answer Joy's question, what I would look for if I was formulating my own team would be different generations. It sounds weird because you would think you would want to work with your own generation because you can understand each other. But different generations add different things. So Gen Z, I feel like, is the more risk takers, the new ideas. And then sometimes the generations before us have more of the foundations, the wisdom, the knowledge. And then sometimes and to be honest, sometimes the older generation can make great leaders, and we can learn from them and then lead our own things. But I feel like different generations contribute different things and different mindsets. So that's what I would bring.
I love your answer. That was so great. Okay, Savannah, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Guys, this was such a great conversation.
For real.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, hi everyone. So, we're hoping that you guys enjoyed today's look into Careers Day look back video, because we wanted this segment specifically to be something where we can really look back and highlight on all the inventors that we've given tribute to and all of the great things that they've done. So thank you guys for watching. Also, I'd like to just say I am also currently interning at CCG, which this program is running from, and I've been behind the scenes working on some things. So I really just hope that you guys enjoy this and enjoy our chat and everything. And I hope you guys really look at insight into what we review with each other today, because I feel like it's really important. And we'd love to hear moments that stood out from you guys. And also, if anyone is watching and you guys want to comment something down in the chat and tell us what your favorite moments are, we'd love that. We appreciate it so much. And yeah, so we'd love to hear moments that stood out from you guys, and we'd like to relive time and reflect on how we've grown as well. So that's it.
At this time, I'd like to welcome all ambassadors back on screen. How does everyone feel about the clips you guys have seen so far?
Pretty good. Like I feel a little bit nostalgic. Like so much has gone on over this past year and I've been so glad like seeing Career Day like change and grow, and we've been having so many new additions to the team, and I love being on here talking with y'all and conversating with y'all, and I I don't know. Like I feel very happy. That's a basic word, but happy.
I think
I feel like what you said earlier when you said, I feel like a different person. When I look back at the clips and how when I was interviewing them, I kind of see like how we kind of all have grown as a team together. Like I feel like our chemistry gets better every time we talk to each other. I learn from you guys every time we have a career day, and I just feel like I see you guys growing your own professional era, and I feel like I'm growing as well. So I just get more excited for our future because you guys look so
Me
bright in y'all's
too.
future, and I believe my future is very bright as well.
when I see these video, like when we come here every Saturday of the second Saturday of the month, I look at how far it's progressed. Like in the very beginning, we didn't have constructive conversations. Um, and I think that it's so important to get young minds and their opinions on this, because this is what we do this for people our age. This is our why, to inspire people that look like us, that are our age and our generation. And I feel like, when we all formulate our opinions about things and talk about things that can be hard as students or as teenagers in general and young adults, I feel like people watching this can actually learn from it and it can help them. And I love the fact that we're able to have this opportunity. Savannah, what do you think about this? How it's progressed so far?
I think it's really cool. So as I said, I've had time to go behind the scenes and see how the production actually started. So I've gone through multiple videos of even like past clips, like probably from when Moria like first started from like a long time ago. And I think it's really cool. Like there's been a lot of people. There's actually been a lot of other ambassadors I didn't know existed, and like you get to see their personality, how they, progress throughout the videos and stuff. And I think it's really good. And I feel like it's a good way. That STEM City is a good way to really get STEM out to the newer youth, and to keep everything pushing, and also give tribute to inventors that we may not have known existed. Because me personally, I haven't been here that long, but I've learned a lot from being on this program. So
Have you guys seen anyone personally grow in here? Like, for me, I know that Mimi isn't here today, but she is one of the ones that I think I've got to watch personally grow, just because in the beginning she didn't know if she wanted to go to college or take a gap year, and things like that is very hard to decide. But she decided she wanted to go to college this year and where she wanted to go, and that's a hard decision. And I'm so glad she was able to figure, what she wanted out. What about, do you guys have a personal opinion about this? Like, who you guys have seen grown over this past year?
Um, I'm gonna say I think all of y'all have grown so much. Like I've been here from the jump, and um I think all of y'all have grown so much. Like we're human beings, we grow, we change every day, and I think that all of us have seriously grown a lot
A
and
hundred.
are becoming, yeah, are becoming our own, people and developing.
I
How
do want to note that Savannah has been like very adamant, very good at interning, because during the week, because this takes practice, and during the week she'd text the group chat and be like, "Hey guys, I need you to do X, Y, and Z." She's been a very good leader of about formulating this show here and trying to progress what we have here. So I do see your growth in this, and I think it's tremendous. And Moria, I love the way you lead every conversation every Saturday. So over to you.
Thank you.
What about me?
I hope.
I love y'all's bickering. Like
Hope,
y'all are sisters, definitely twins.
Hope, I love how
And
long-winded you are. I love that about you.
Thank you. I just want to say you guys have all impacted my life. You guys have all impacted Career Day, and I just love how each of you individually have your own personalities to continue to flourish, continue to grow in your personalities, and let's pass it to Savannah and Moria.
I think more is first.
Moria, sorry.
Over to you, Moria.
Okay. So what were your most embarrassing moments on camera over this year?
Well, I didn't know. It's so funny. I didn't know we were on camera when commercial breaks came in. So I'm making I sometimes will like start chilling or make some facial expressions or I react to what I just said. But I didn't know that they could see us the whole entire time until the producer let me know. So probably some moments today. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I was gonna say I think the moment today was when we were on live and you're like, "Mommy, you're too loud. I can hear you."
That happened today too.
Yeah, and we were on live.
Oh, wow.
Maria, I love this question, and let's check out a few more moments from this past career days that stood out.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, I'm veteran ambassador Joy Pagan, originator and host of Constructive Conversations, and today we're discussing turning points. We'd like to invite our viewers to participate. What is a divisive turning point in your life, and how did you face it? Please share your thoughts in the chat and a picture if you have one. We're all going to reach a turning point at some time in our life. We must decide which path we're going to choose to take unless we don't know the outcome, but sometimes the path we choose can define our outcome. What is a turning point in your life where you had to decide which way you were going to go?
I love this
question.
And I think,
how about you start?
Personally, CCG was actually a turning point in my life. So I'm in community college, and I decided to go to community college to save money. Before I transfer and hopefully get my GPA up as high as possible so I can get a scholarship to go to college. But my community college is very expensive. So it's not there. We don't have a program where if you get a good GPA in high school, we can get a free community college, or we don't have that opportunity. So I didn't know last semester, I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. And you can't move on semester unless it's completely paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like stressing out because one thing about me is I like to keep going. I don't want to just like pause college and have to work and then like come back. That's really hard. I want to get this, I want to get this going. So I was kind of like having anxiety, and then I said, I'm just going to give it to God. I'm going to let God make a way and pave me a way to be able to pay for my next semester. So I owed $1,700. I saved up $700 from working. I was working 3 jobs at the time, but I was missing out on $1,000. So I was in my car, and I was like, you know what, God, I'm going to give it to you. I have no other way, but I'm going to give it to you because time was running out. And then I received an email from the head of CCG, and that email was basically saying, because you guys used to go to Career Day, because all of the students ambassadors are taken care of, we have a CCG scholarship where we're going to each give you guys $1,000, sorry, kind of glitched there. And that was just like God saying, like, he's gonna always have my back, because as I just told you guys, my bill was $1,700, and I ended up having that $1,000 taken care of. So it was the exact amount I needed. So one thing I kind of learned was, if you don't see something, if you can't see a way, there's always a way, and God will always, take care of that. And also, thank you to CCG for blessing me with that as well. That was amazing. That saved my college career.
Yes, it also helped me pay for my tuition as well. And the scholarship is going to help me pay for my tuition again this year. So I'm thankful for this opportunity. Changing points in life. I feel like, me personally, my changing point in life this year was learning how to be okay with being alone. I think the transition from high school to college is not talked about as often as it should be. Especially community college. It can get a little bit lonely because, when you're at community college, they just go to school, no one talks to each other, and they leave. So I had to get used to that, not socializing every day. And at first it was uncomfortable, but I had to learn to just dive into the uncomfortableness. And I ended up loving the time I spent alone and being more than comfortable being alone. And now I'm so happy with the little things in life. So, and I'm very grateful for when I do have friends and they come over. So that's my changing point. Moria, how about you?
I would add on to that. I kind of felt similar last year, when I was transitioning from high school to college. I was losing friends left and right, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, like I'm really alone this summer." It makes you really appreciate your family and the friends that you do have, and be like, y'all are real ones. And so yeah, and then when I finally did get to college, it wasn't smooth. It was like you said, you go to school, then you go home. And one thing I would say about that is definitely join clubs. Um, um, Put yourself out there, because just like how you're nervous, everybody else is nervous too. So put yourself out there. Um, yeah, and like you said again, enjoy being alone and enjoy being good with yourself, because when you're good with yourself and you love yourself and you respect yourself, other people will show that energy towards you. So
100. I love that last line right there. You are preaching. Savannah, how about you?
Could you possibly restate the question for me?
Yeah, so what is a turning point or like a change you had to become comfortable with this year?
Let's see. I feel like my fault. I feel like just a turning point for school. I feel like just being like,
Oh, it doesn't have to involve school at all either.
or it could just be like a turning point in general.
Yeah, mine didn't involve school as much. It was just about.
I feel like a turning point for me was probably like leaving home to go do the internship for CCG, because I'm not from like Baltimore, Maryland, where like the whole thing is. So it was kind of like, it was a little like, it was definitely something to adjust to, because I'm in an area that I'm not familiar with, but it was going to bring me an opportunity that was really good. So I had to do it, but I feel like that'd be the only turning point for me, because I feel like I grew from that experience, because you get to know yourself more when you're not around the people that you're usually around, or like you get a new perspective. So I feel like that definitely would be a turning point for me.
I definitely think you have to be brave to do that, because that's the definition of uncomfortable, is leaving your home. But you did it.
I love that you said that. It kind of reminds me of this like quote that I always like tell myself, like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It was an uncomfortable situation, but you can really only grow in uncomfortable situations. You can't really grow in uncomfortable situations all the time. So that's definitely what you've done. Like you're glowing, like you're growing, like, and it's almost over. You did it. You know what I mean? So like I love that, I personally, Savannah's my cousin, so I've personally watched her grow through this and, adjust. But I want to transition over to the next clip, if that's okay with you guys.
Yes, hope that's okay with us.
Roll the clip.
Dr. Drew is the father of blood banks, and his techniques became the foundation for the Red Cross donation and blood mobiles worldwide. He spent 9 years as the head of Department of Surgery at Howard University and chief of surgery at Freedman's Hospital. And he believed in teaching new generations of students about medicine. Medicine was his longest lasting contribution to the field.
So what did you guys take away from that clip?
Let's see. I think that clip was more supposed to be for like, what was that clip supposed to show? Maybe it was supposed to show like the inventor and just like the way it was said. I think, I'm not sure.
Okay. I think that something that stuck out to me is he said he believes in teaching new generations about medicine. And I think that to live back then and him knowing the importance of even teaching new generations, I think that's incredible, because at the end of the day, we are transitioning into the workforce. We're going to be leaders, and this is our time now to learn how to be impactful leaders. So I think that that clip just showed that, he believed in us, and now we can believe in ourselves. Hope, what about you?
That clip reminds me that medicine wasn't always around, and how the smallest thing, like getting a cut back then, would mean hope we are gonna pray it heals correctly, or else it might be your time might be out. But now we have like over the counter medicines. Like, it reminds me that we like that all was literally invented for us, and I'm just very thankful that I'm living in this day and age where we have availability to so many medicines, not even just medicines for health, but medicines to help you focus, medicines to help your mood, your happiness. Like it's grown tremendously, and I'm very thankful that we have a lot of medicines in our grasp.
Truly.
Maria, I love your comments. Where do you guys think how innovative do you guys think medicine is going to become, like, in the next 30 years?
I think.
You think we're going to find a cure for cancer? Because
Maybe.
I think we should have one by now. I feel like we've progressed. I think Nikola Tesla, no, not him. That was the wrong person. But there has been some natural remedies that have helped patients, I was online, and this woman was diagnosed with cancer, and she actually went abroad, I think, to Vietnam, and this woman was like giving remedies to help with her sickness, and it actually worked, and it didn't involve taking drugs or chemo. So I think that, I don't know if she was all the way cured, but I think that medicine, and I think the power of medicine and the power of natural remedies, if they come together, I see it being very progressive. Now, do I think big pharma needs to be destroyed? Yes, because I feel like, why do other countries have free healthcare? Like, you know what I'm saying? And our country, it's so much for healthcare. One doctor's visit is like $50 if you're not taking not and that's if you're not leaving with medication. I want to see a world where healthcare is free. Getting help is okay, and you don't have to, break an arm and leg and be 30K in debt to get healthcare. Also, even giving birth is like 30K.
I was about to bring that up too. It's
Right.
literally, like, I feel like that's a bit ridiculous, especially because with all the STEM inventions and everything, and like the way that they administer medicine, the way that everything I'm like, there has to be a more innovative way for that
There
to
has
happen. Because even like in today's world, like the birth rate is going down because people don't want to deal with that stuff.
100%. There was this woman who actually went to Mexico to give birth, because in Mexico, giving birth is free, and she said it was a great experience. So I wonder how the inventor would think about it now, like would think about how the world is now with big pharma. I wonder if he would be against it or for it. Honestly, I think he'd probably be against. I think he'd probably be disappointed.
You guys make some pretty great points about medicine, and about like definitely the controversial things, like should we be paying for medicine to this? If we're born to live, why are we paying to live? But at the same time, there's so many different different debates that I do hope meets the public eye more, especially I know that we're about to pick a president soon, and I just know that these are the conversations where I want my future president to be talking about, and I definitely have one that meets my eye to talk about this one. Savannah, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. So basically, we've had the opportunity to feature many STEM inventors over this year. However, I did choose my favorite part and my favorite inventor to talk about, which we're going to show you guys right now. I'm going to tell you guys as to why this STEM inventor is particularly important to me, because as you guys can see, I have glasses. So everything that she's been fighting for, working for, affects me. So her work has led to me having a better life, me having good vision, and, you know, plenty of others. And also, not to undervalue the fact that she is a Black woman who is doing this, which is very inspiring and shows representation for her people and everything else.
Glasses girls unite.
Yay! Blind girlies unite, literally. So, what do you guys think about that clip? I obviously already explained why that was important to me because I have glasses, and you know, I'm someone who struggles with having smaller features. So, like, you see my nose and like my ears. Like, I'm not sure if you guys can tell on camera, but in person, I have like it's small. So, whenever I have glasses, like they always tend to either stretch out or fall down because my face is oily too. So it's just a bad combination. So the fact that people have come up with like things like laser surgery with contacts, like that'd be so great to have because it's more convenient and it would just be an easier way of living. So that was my reason for picking this person. But what do you guys think?
I was thinking it was a
I'm
powerful
with you.
clip. I was thinking it was a powerful clip because I didn't really think about everyday things like that. Like, imagine we didn't have glasses for people that need them to see. Like, how would they learn? How would they get educated? How would they have a family, take care of their kids? It was so powerful. I was like, wait, something that we think is so small, like glasses, is actually a life changer for some people's
Right.
lives.
To me, it just showed how innovative we are as human beings. I mean, I don't even know. I forget the date, like the year you said she invented this in, but it's like, who even thought someone could have thought about this? You know what I'm saying? So it's just very, and a Black woman at that. You know, it's very cool to see that. Moria, what do you think about it?
Well, I said earlier, like I said I agree with what Savannah is saying. Like, where would we be without glasses? We would be blind as bats.
Yeah, literally.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
While we won't be showing any clips for this next part, I was wondering, we talked about what was your most embarrassing moments on camera over the past year. What was you guys's, if you guys had any biggest insecurities about, you know, being on screen and doing this? Go ahead, Hope.
I want to talk about the embarrassing moments, but lead that into insecurities. So one thing about me is I stutter sometimes a lot. Like sometimes my brain processes things faster than my mouth. So I start speaking really fast or I start stuttering. Like today when I was trying to get out $1,700 and I just kept repeating. It just wasn't, it was like a glitch. So sometimes those embarrassing moments are kind of when I stutter. And then like sometimes like even in class, like in college where I'm like presenting something and they're like, my teacher was like, I'm just trying to figure out how you got so many words in 4 minutes. Like, like you know what I mean? So I think one of my insecurities has always been like talking and stuttering while I talk. But I also look at my president, Biden. He has a stutter problem, but he's president. Like nothing, like it's just a part of who he is. And to be honest, it's a great icebreaker. So it makes people laugh. So I just use it to your strength. I can become president with a stutter if he did it too. So
yeah. Let's see. You said what was your biggest insecurity about being on screen?
Yeah.
I feel like probably just like the angles and stuff. Probably.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the angles.
Yeah, because I'm a person that like if a picture is taken of me from a certain angle and it doesn't look good, I'm literally gonna look at you sideways and be like, "Hello, why does it look like that?" So I feel like that would be the only thing for me. But I've been like, I don't know. It's definitely something to get used to because I do get like stage shy sometimes. But other than that, I feel like it's just something to get you out of your comfort zone. So it's just something that you have to get used to. So other than that, I really have no insecurities about being online, really.
I felt like my biggest insecurity was when I needed to get my hair was straightened. I had a silk press, but it was not soaking anymore, and I need to get it done. And we can see that with the main video because I had braids as a hairstyle. I had different hairstyles, but someone chose to add that clip in. And when I find out who they are, we will be having
Ooh,
a discussion. So
they will be dealt with.
but but that was my biggest insecurity because every single time people watch this, they have to see that.
Oh,
But so hopefully we'll be replacing the hairstyles. I like this one. I prefer this one actually. But
It looks
so
pretty.
thanks. You look pretty too. That
Oh,
so that,
thank
that was pretty
you.
much my biggest insecurity. It wasn't even coming here on live. It was just that, and the song is really cute too. So like I just have to make a good hairstyle in the song, so I can just. Maria, what about you?
For me personally, is there anything on my face? Am I looking like where I need to look? And um sometimes my background is a little noisy. We have a Yorkie, Shih Tzu Yorkie, and he's
Oh.
very noisy. So we try to put him in the back room while I'm filming, but I'm like, I hope he doesn't bark because that will make it look really, really awkward.
Oh yeah, you
Y'all
guys.
wouldn't be able to hear me.
When we
So
did the backstage thing, me and Hope have a dog, and he was barking, and Ray was frightened. So.
Oh.
oh wow.
Oh yeah, another thing is also like our producer Ray. Sometimes he says some embarrassing jokes, and it's like I have to laugh. I have to force myself to laugh. So sometimes it's like embarrassing that I have to do that, but like at the same time, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Shade was thrown.
I think another one of my insecurities on this screen is like how like inverted you can look sometimes.
Oh my god,
Oh, yeah.
I just want to look like the mirror. Like, to be honest, I just want to look like the mirror.
I had that on earlier, and I had no clue that I had it on because I'm like, why does my STEM life not match up with you guys' STEM life? And I realized why it was, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm like trying to get used to like the the inverted version, but
Yeah,
it's just
I'm looking at my eyebrows and like going like they're so together right now. I'm just like, okay, like
I
what I mean?
don't think Nick and Oliver even think about this stuff though. I think it's because we're girls. I feel like Nick and Oliver come and they're just like, oh, yep, it's ready to do it. We're as ready. I'm going to settings, clicking mirror my camera so that I'm not inverted. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just so funny, like how different we all are. Moria, I'm gonna pass it over to you for the close, but this has been such a great conversation. I love the comedy. I love talking to you guys, and thank you for this. So, Moria, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
Same here, and thank you to all who joined us for Career Day. We appreciate your insights in the chat and your opinions and questions. It was fun to reflect on the past year and how each of my fellow ambassadors have grown over the last year. Please remember to visit STEMCityUSA.com for more BEYA STEM Career Day segments. We would also like to give a very special thanks to our BEYA STEM Career Day sponsor, Lockheed Martin. They are known for their groundbreaking work in aerospace, arms, defense, information security, and technology around the world. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us for the next Career Day on September 14th, 2024, where we'll feature marine biologist Simone Barkley. I'm ready to explore new STEM careers with you. See you next time. This is Moria Bowman signing off.
Bye.
Bye.
Every day at Lockheed Martin, we are creating the future. When did I decide to become an engineer? Where I grew up in my village, we had a lot of interaction with nature. So I was always fascinated by the flight of the hummingbird. Seeing this marvelous aerodynamics of the hummingbird gave me this general idea that I wanted to be working on the ability to control things that flew. I've had this long running curiosity, I still do today, of asking the question, why is this the way it is? Are there ways to improve what it does? And in fact, those are the same questions we ask every day at Lockheed Martin. That's why my colleagues come to work saying, this is great, we've done all these great things, we've built all these great systems. how could we make it better? And how could we make it better together? Lockheed Martin's engineers and scientists are at the forefront of innovation. Everything from AI and machine learning to hypersonics to directed energy. Individually, all these are really critical capabilities that we need to develop. To actually deliver something ahead of ready to our customers, it takes pulling these pieces together into an overall mission capability. What we are doing here matters to our nation, to our nation's security.
From every corner, from far and wide, our talents merge, our futures tied. In science, tech, and all the arts, we find our way, we play our parts, reach for the stars.